Hello and welcome. Thanks so much for being here. My name is Betty Franks and I am going to be showing you today how I'm going to finish these two pieces on paper. And they kind of look like they're finished, but in my opinion they are not finished. And what I'm going to be working on is this area here and here, here and here. These two plus a third one were created for Oncology Nursing Forum magazine cover. And I had to leave these areas empty like this, or kind of quiet areas, so that they could add in their overlay of text and their cover, the title of their magazine. So that's why it looks like this. And if you know me, like I bet you do, you know that this is not typically my style. So I'm going to come in here now and I'm going to finish this up so that it feels more like me. So let's work on that. And I'll just work both of them together. So I've got my pad here, I've got my mark making tools, but I think I'm going to do these last. I don't think I'm going to come in with them right now because, as you can see, I actually did finish it up with some mark making in there, some down in here, some here. That's because I had to present it and they picked one of the three. And so I'm going to do some work here and then we'll come in with some final mark making. All right, as usual, I'd like to start with some white. So let me put down a little bit of white here. Whoops. That's way too much white. I wonder if I can scoop some of that back in. That's just a ridiculous amount of white that I am certainly not going to be using. And the problem with these, I love these bottles, but the problem with them is that they can squirt out too much. So it works great when I am working on large pieces of art because I use a whole lot more paint than I do on small art like this. So, all right. I put half of it back in, and we'll use up what's left here. But if you're interested, I've got this listed on my favorite art supplies, and I do love it when I'm working large. But again, it's a little bit too much here. Okay, so let's think about colors. Do I want warm colors or do I want cool colors to finish up this piece, or do I want a combination of the two? Because I certainly do have my cool colors and my warm colors on both these pieces. So I need to figure out, how do I want to balance this out? Or do I want, a more predominantly more of one color than the other? And you know what? Now that I say that out loud, I think I'm going to go with the cool colors. I'm going to go more predominantly with a cool color because I do have some warmer colors in here, which I'm good with, but maybe keep this more of a limited palette in a sense. So I'm going to go with this phthalo turquoise, one of my all-time favorite colors. I'm going to put out just a little bit of this, like that. That's probably too much, but all right. And then let's go with this blue-green, another absolute favorite of mine. And these are all Nova Color paints, and these colors here are from my bundle called Betty's Bundle, and I will include a link down below, or just leave me a comment asking for the link to Betty's Bundle with Nova Color paints. All right, so we've got those two colors, and I did use some blues in here, which was probably this phthalo blue, I'm going to guess. I'm trying to think if I have any other blue here. No, I think we're going to go with the phthalo blue. All right, so let's just put out a tiny bit of that. A little bit of blue goes a long ways. I bet you I put way too much out. That's all right. One thing I love about Nova Color paints is they are very affordable, so I don't stress too much about putting out too much paint. And remember, paint is the #1 product that you're using to create your pieces. So if you're stressing about how much paint you're using or how much paint you're putting out, then it's going to make it harder to create art and to relax and to get into the act of creating art. So that's one reason that I truly love the Nova Color paints. All right, I want to use some yellow. So my usual cadmium yellow, medium. Let's put out a little bit of that. And I'm going to wipe that off. Let's see if I can find something away. Here's a paper towel. And I want to put out This is the larger size. This is the pint size, and these are the 4-ounce jars. I always start with the 4-ounce jar before I upgrade to a pint because I want to make sure I like the color first. This is Indian yellow, which I just don't happen to have it in the 4-ounce sitting around on my desk right now. I've got it somewhere else in the room. And these are great when you're working larger. I'm going to just pull some right off the lid here and put it over here. Close that up. All right. Oops. A little extra there. Move that out of the way. Now let me grab a brush and let's figure out, I'm thinking of making some larger marks. You know, I had some green marks in here before that I had to obliterate so that I could quiet down that area. So maybe I bring back some of those larger elements there that are larger than these, and larger than these. So they're the largest here. And then over here, I'm thinking, I don't want to do anything too large up here. Maybe I make something larger down here. So maybe I just extend this blue-green color here, these here, and just extend them so that they're longer and they fill up this area. So maybe I start with that. I'm going to grab my blue-green and maybe just a touch of this. I love mixing my colors. So let's just mix that up together. And that's not quite that color, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be. Okay, I just want to fill in this area. I'm going to go one more over here, maybe one more here. There, so see how that changes that immediately, the composition changes where I've got much more structure, something that weighs this down here. Maybe I'll make these a little bit bigger, a little wider, so it really has some weight to the bottom of this piece here. All right, so let that dry. Let's move over here and let's bring back, so I've got this green color, which we can bring back with some yellow here. I love making my own green as opposed to a green out of the jar. However, Betty's Bundle does come with this yellow green, which I love, but I love it even more when I mix it with a yellow. It just kind of makes it an even better green. All right, so I'm going to warm that up a little bit. Now I overdid it. Let's bring in this blue. I don't even know what color this is now. Not the color I was going for, but that's okay. I love playing with colors. And that's going to be much darker. Let's see if I can lighten that up a bit. Again, it's not going to be this exact color, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be. But I'm thinking that might be maybe too dark. I'm going to grab some yellow out of here and brighten that up. Lighten it up. Or as I used to say, lighten up, Francis. Okay, well, let's try that. So I'm going to bring this back. It doesn't perfectly match that. And again, I'm okay with that. It doesn't have to. I just want to bring back these elements that I had covered up. Let's make them extra large so that they really stand out. Bring this one down a bit. Now it doesn't quite, in terms of the color itself, it doesn't quite work with the rest of it because we don't see that color anywhere else in this piece, but that's okay. This is my first layer. I'm going to come in with another layer and maybe I can get it to harmonize a bit better. Let's bring one more in here. All right, so we've got some weight down here. We've got definitely have some weight over here. Now I want to come in and tackle these areas here. I'm going to dip that brush into water. Let's grab something else here. I'm going to grab a different size brush, maybe this one. I want to go a little bit smaller now through here. So let's see, I'm going to just do this lighter color. I kind of like this in here, but I kind of don't, so I'm going to just come in with another layer in here. An opportunity to make some modifications. That's the thing with art. If you set it aside for a while, you come back to it, and you probably end up seeing something that you want to change, and that's okay. All right, so I've got that, and then I'm just gonna maybe lighten that up a tiny bit. And let's come down here. I've got this blue circle here, so now this blue that I've got on my brush might compete with this, but let's see what I can do here. I've got a circle. Maybe I just do another circle because I've got these, you know, these large lines, and of course, all of these things represent my love for flowers, fields of flowers, and so let's do some circles down here. Maybe I just go right over this one here and introduce another one. Let's see, I'm going to do kind of like a half circle here, do something a little different. There we go. So now that's already filling that empty, quiet area. I'm going to do one more right here, kind of even different shape than the other two, just to add some interest that way. Okay, we'll let that dry, and I might come in with another layer on top of that. So that's already filling in, but I can certainly do some more stuff in here. But let's go over here now, and I'm going to darken this just a bit, because I can see I kind of have this color down in here. And I can just, not quite that color, but now it is. There we go. Okay, so let's see about, I'm going to bring it in here. I think it needs a little turquoise in it, teal-ish. Yeah, that seems to be closer to the color that I had before. Doesn't have to be an exact match. All right, so now I'm going to lighten it a little bit, and let's come in here, and as I did here, the circles, because I did the lines down here, let's do some circles up here. And I don't have any open circles like this, I call an open circle. I have these closed circles which are filled in. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's see. I'm going to come in here. I don't like making perfectly round circles. I like them to be a little off. Do one there, and I'm going to just pull the eye all the way up and off the page, off the artwork. All right, so we've got it going upward. Maybe one more little one right here. Okay, so now I've got these large elements here and these large elements here, and then I've got these large elements here and these large ones down here. So they're kind of balancing each other out and not competing. Competing would be if I had these and these. Like if I had these up here and these down here, they would be competing for attention. But these are a little bit different, and they're not quite competing for attention. Okay. I'm good with that. Let's come in here, I don't know, maybe take this yellow and make it kind of muddy. So let's make it a little bit of a neutral. And I don't have it anywhere in here, so I want to kind of introduce it somewhere so that I can use it in one other spot. All right, I'm going to lighten it a little bit now. And I wanted to just come down here, maybe make some little small dots throughout this area, my little field of flowers. There we go. Okay, and let's bring it over here as well. Maybe I'm going to try to make it more yellowish, kind of like what I've got here. I've got it over here too. Maybe I'll just reintroduce this color. All right, let's bring in, so I wanted to do something similar to what I did here. You know, I'm not trying to overthink this whole thing. I just want to fill this in so that it doesn't look so bare in those areas. And I always like to go up and off of what I'm working on so that it's not just floating in one area. All right, that's good. I like that. Definitely filled in. And this area definitely filled in. I want to come back in. This is already dry. So let's come in, because I really don't like this green. I like this green, so let me see if I could try to get this kind of tealish green happening. Let me grab my other brush that I had, which is this wider one. And here's our blue-green color. I'm going to bring it over here. And it's not quite that dark. Maybe I introduced just a little bit of this color. All right, let's go over. I like that better. And I'm not going to cover up that previous green entirely, I'll just leave a little bit of it peeking through. And that gives it some layers, some dimension. There we go. Okay, and that's a little bit closer to that, but it's not perfect, although it's not that off. Okay, I'm liking that, and I like what's going on down here. I feel like we're just so close to just calling it done. Let's come over here now. I want to do another layer on these. You can kind of see my previous, the yellow underneath because it didn't quite cover, so I want to put another layer on that. So let's, I'm going to just wipe this off, and I'm just going to really lighten this up. Let's try that. And let's just go over it. Ooh, yum. All right, it's a bit lighter, and I like that because now the darker one underneath is showing up a bit more. There we go. Okay, I like that. I'm going to let this dry before I make any decisions. And this blue is kind of, I don't know, I don't feel like it's not really working with the rest of it. So I might need to come in with something. Maybe just lighten up this one even more, because I don't want it to be exact. Maybe I pull in a little bit of this blue that I did use before. And I'm just going to go over it. I realize I'm using a thicker brush this time. Maybe I should switch back to my thinner brush that I had used. All right, whoops. Well, where did it go? Did it fall in the water? No, it's right here. I love that. All right. Yes, I use the cheap brushes because I really beat them up. That means they also fall apart on me. Oh, and it had yellow on it. No big deal. Let's try that color. Oh, I do like that. Let's just come through here. Okay, I like that. Kind of works with that. And some of that blue, previous blue, showing through just a little bit. I think that works better than, oh, hey, let's not forget about the little one here. I think it works better than the blue that I had. All right, so let's do the same over here. Let's come in here and go over the ones that I did before. There we go. Better. Okay, so let's see. I just want to kind of look at them, and I feel like I can call them done. Maybe I do something in here, but I'm going to do that with mark making, with these mark making instead of using paint to do it. So let's do this. You know, I don't like when my circles are all floating on top, so I'm going to mix up a white. Now, this white that I had here, this creamy white, is one that was mixed with whatever I had on my brush at the time, so this is going to be a challenge to try to come up with something that is close to it. Let's see, I need something a little warmer over here. All right, this is close. I don't think it's white enough. Whoops. Now it's way too much. Okay, I just dipped into a color I shouldn't have dipped into. All right, let's try that. So I want to obliterate a little bit of that line, and just, it helps push it back and give it some dimension. I just need a tiny squirt of white. Let's see if I can possibly do that. Just the tiny, oh, wow, tiny too much. Oh well, I'll figure out where to use that. Still trying to go, see, I'm trying to create new pods of color over here so I don't overdo it. Okay, I think this might work. This is very similar to what I've got here. Okay, and it's good to have these lighter values in here. Give it a bit of pop. Maybe I'll just push that back too. So see how that kind of pushes those circles, brings them forward a little bit and pushes them back a little bit. And that gives it more interest and dimension. in my opinion. Everything is based on my opinion, right? Everyone has their own way of doing things. Now this pink I like, but it's kind of bugging me, like it's not there, it's kind of there but not there. Maybe I bring some of that back with this pink in here instead of trying to get out my warm colors now. Okay, I do like that. This one is kind of floating on top. I wonder if I can just try to figure out how to push that back a bit. Oh, that's too close to that color. Okay, let's wipe that off. And I need a color that is kind of a brighter green. Maybe I just even change it up a bit. There we go. Doesn't match the color I had before, but that's okay. All right, let's do that. Okay. All right, we're good here. And let's look at this one more time. See if there's anything else we want to do. You know, I could do some more stuff in here, but I'm gonna wait and do that. Let's see. The only thing I wanted to do is maybe just, oh, this color is very similar. I wanted to lighten it up a bit. Let's try it one more time. And now I could be pushing, like this one, the circle is not complete. Maybe I push this one back a little bit too. All right, so let's see if I can mix up. This is more of a cooler color. So let's see if I wipe this down. And I'm just going to grab a little bit of this blue-green color. Let's just mix this up over here. All right, that's got too much color. Oh, this might be close. There we go. Close enough. Push that back a bit. And that one I kind of already pushed back, so maybe this one. Okay. I do like that. And I do like that this is a much lighter value than what I had before. There we go. Just add just a bit of it there. Okay. And I'm looking at it on my little monitor here on my camera just to give me a different perspective of it. Okay, I really like that this has been added in and it just took out that plain white area that I had, or you know, the very quiet areas. Okay, I'm going to hit this with the heating tool and then I'm going to finish it up. All right, looks good to me. So when I finished this the last time, I used some, let's see, I probably used Stabilo Woody here, and I can see it's kind of shiny, which means the wax kind of melted a bit, and that'll dry again. But when you put heat on it, it will kind of reactivate it, and it makes it a bit shiny there and wet. Well, it's not lifting up, so I think we're good there. All right, so I'm going to finish it up with some mark making. Let's put a lid on this one. And, whoops, put that in water. So I mentioned I want to bring back this pink. So what you can do is with your mark making tools, whatever you decide, you know, I started off with Crayola crayons. So certainly you can use Crayola crayons, and you'll just find that they're not as vibrant. These are Stabilo Woodies, and they're very pigment loaded so that you have some, you know, real bright, crisp colors happening. All right, so I like that a bit better. Do I need anything over here with this? Sometimes I just come in and color in some areas. I think we're good. Okay. And again, this is going to be easy to do because I did a lot of mark making already. You can see the marks that I already came in and made, so I don't want to overdo it. I think I'd just like to add something right in here. maybe even with white. So this is a Neocolor 2. So I'm going to just do some circles like this, going right over these other areas so that it adds some dimension to the piece. And now the other thing I love about these, two things that I love. One is you can just grab a regular eraser and you can erase it if you don't like it. Okay, so there's an example of where I completely took them out. So don't be afraid to make your final marks. Test it out if you're not sure that it's going to look good there. Do it anyway, and then just erase it if you don't like it. I liked it, so I'm going to bring those back. Maybe a little bit more sloppily. I don't, like I mentioned earlier, I don't like everything to look so perfect. I like imperfection is perfection to me. Okay, so I've got some circles. So the other thing I was going to say is you can just take your finger and you can rub them out a little bit. And I like doing that as well. And that kind of softens up the lines a little bit. Okay, so I'm good here. I'm good up here because we added these dots with paint. So I don't feel this need to absolutely have to add something else, but whenever I see white areas like this, I have this need to put scribbles in there. But I like doing more like tone-on-tone scribbles. So let's grab something like something thinner. Let's see what I've got in here. Oh, like this yellow here. This is a great one. It is a, what is this? Prismacolor pencil. So I'm going to come in here, and it's very similar to this color over here. I'm going to just do some scribbles through here. And then again, if you don't like it, grab your eraser. Can you tell that I've erased many times? And you can erase the whole thing, but what I like to do is I like to just erase a little bit of it so it's not a continuous line. All right, so I'm good with that. Very subtle. Let me bring it up to you because you probably can't see it, but it's very subtle. I've got these little scribbles through here. And let's switch over here now. I want to do, I think I'm just going to do these scribbles down here too. So let's just do that. I don't need to overthink this. It's okay that it's similar. Okay, now I've got a lot of scribbles going on. So what I'm going to do is I want to take out a bit of it, maybe off the circle here, maybe a little bit over here. There we go. And there we go. Okay, let me show you that up close. So I did scribbles throughout this area too and just erase some of that back. All right, what else can we do here? I've got these marks going through here. I've got, let's see, what else do I want to, I mean, I've got some stuff going on up there. I've got these marks here. It's like, when I start hesitating like this, it means that I'm probably done. I don't need to be forcing more marks to go in that probably don't need to be there. Like I said, these were done before, except for these areas here. So I'm going to call it done. I'm going to move this out of the way, and what I like to do is I like to sign in a number 2 pencil because I used to sign crooked and it drove me crazy. I would then have to come back in and paint over that area. I used to actually sign with these Sharpie, and this is an extra fine point, which I understand are very hard to find these days, but I used to sign with this, and then I'd mess up my signature. I'd have to paint over that whole area and start again. So I decided that pencil is my best friend. So I find a corner to sign, like I've got this kind of quiet area here, and I've got a quiet area over here. So I'm going to use those 2 areas for my signature. All right, so there's one, and then let's come over here. I kind of just eye it. The other reason I like the pencil is, you know, the black really stood out, like this black here. I just felt like, you know, sometimes that was the first thing you saw was my signature, and I didn't like that. I wanted you to see the artwork first and then my signature. All right, so we've got that done, and typically what I do, And I see I wrote on the back of these, so, oh, that's so funny because I wrote on it this way, which means this was the right way to, this is the way I presented it. Okay, I like it this way. So what I'm going to do is, this just says what the number was, Oncology Nursing Forum. This was number 3. This was from November 2023. So typically what I do here is I'll put the title, which I can't think of a title at this moment, but I'll do the title first, then I will sign it again, just like I did on the front. I put the month and year, so we're in, do I put November or December? I'm going to put December because I finished it in December. All right, December 2023. I put my location because sometimes I'm in Croatia and I like to put that I'm in Croatia. So I'm going to put San Jose, California. See if I can talk and write. Mess that up a little bit. And again, pencil comes in handy because I can just erase. And then I like to put my website. So bettyfranksart.com. And then the last thing that I like to put, so again, my title will be up here, is when I go to take pictures of this, I like to, sometimes I forget what was the size of this one. So I like to put on here 9 by 12 inches. That way, when I go to take pictures of it, I don't have to go look for the original artwork to measure it. So that's what I like to do for those. And yeah, I'll come up with titles, I'll get this finished up, and then I'm going to use a spray varnish and then a regular varnish, which is Liquitex, so that I can protect my marks, especially the water-soluble ones, and then protect the whole art piece so that it's ready for sale. Okay, and I will include a link down below so that you can see my video on how to protect your artwork when you're done. Okay. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you, and I would absolutely love it if you could please hit that subscribe button and hit the like. And what that does is it tells YouTube that people are interested in watching my videos, and they'll show it to a lot more people. So you're not just helping me, but you're helping your fellow artists out there. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comments below. I am always happy to answer those for you. If you are interested in learning from me how I like to create art and how I go from step to step to step, and I walk you through my entire thought process, just leave me a comment below and I will send you a link to my online course. It's over 5 hours of content, and we go through step by step on how to build a painting. We also do several exercises that help you loosen up, understand colors, and also the whole process of understanding values as well. Okay, folks, again, thank you so much for being here, and wishing you a super fabulous and creative day. Take care.